Pea pods. That's what I saw, Libras, when I felt the energy behind your reading for this week. Pea pods, like, those little bean things inside of, like, a little shell. And I'm getting the sense that we're talking about two peas in a pod, like family. And then we got the Five of Wands. So there's a sense of brotherhood. There's a sense of camaraderie. There's also a sense of potentially, like, a friendly competition between people in your life. Maybe you have a dynamic like that, but it's good. It's like I said, it's friendly. Wheel of Fortune. If it wasn't friendly, we wouldn't have the Wheel of Fortune there. But the other thing that I also saw was a crown and a dog with a leash. So I'm getting the sense that one person is a little bit more dominant and the other person's a little bit more subservient. And there is a dynamic of trying to break out of that. One person is leashed, is the dog, is the sidekick. The other person is kind of like the cooler person who's a bit more in charge, has it a bit more together. People maybe look to them more than the sidekick person. But there's friendly competition. Maybe there's always been competition on who's the sidekick and who's not the sidekick. And that's what we're talking about this week for you. On the bottom, we have the Eight of Wands. This could have escalated a lot this week, or this could be escalating this week, because the Eight of Wands talks about things happening really quickly and like almost to the point where it causes an interruption in your life. Like, it's normally kind of background competition. Well, this week it's going to be in your face competition. And I say in your face because we also have judgment here. So you guys are going to be in each other's faces. Whoever you have this competitive relationship with, this dynamic with, they're going to be in your face this week. And that's just the way it is. I don't think it's a bad thing. Let's see what else is on top. This is on the bottom. Let's see what's on top. The Hierophant and the Lovers. This is kind of like two people. This you could say brother and sister, right? Because the Hierophant is a structure. So like a family structure. So you could say a family tree would be very much like the Hierophant. And then the Lovers is just somebody who you signed up to be with in that way. Like brother and sister. You signed up to be blood related. And that's the Hierophant and the Lovers. But then there's also death here, which it makes me wonder if we're talking about like a stepbrother, or if this person is an adopted, or there's and that's part of the dynamic, perhaps. Let's see what else we get here. This is getting interesting. I'm actually going to pull specific cards on the death card, because the death card is the only weird card in this 5-card spread. So I'm going to actually get a bit more information on that. Tell me more about the death card specifically here. Tell me about the death card specifically so we can get clarification on what we're talking about. Interesting, we got Scorpio. Scorpio almost leads me to believe that it's a sexual relationship, kind of like an in-law. Okay, so this dynamic could be between you and an in-law, because Scorpio, it's like a sexual relationship. So the Hierophant here could be marriage. So an in-law, like a brother-in-law, sister-in-law, mother-in-law. I'm getting that could be it for some of you too. But let's see if we can pull more information in general and find out more in general about what's going on with you guys. Tell me more about this reading for my Libras, please. Tell me more about this reading. Tell me more about what's going on with Libra. All right, so we got the road coming out here, and it's coming out next to Pisces. There's definitely a sense of boys will be boys, like it can't be helped. There's a sense that it can't be helped because it's just the way things are with the road forward and then next to Pisces. And then the key here is interesting. Actually, let me pull the next couple cards because the key is very interesting, and I think the next couple cards will clarify the key. So we have the 5 and the number 1. The key is control. So who has control? Who has the key? Maybe this is literally an argument between two people who gets to drive. It's siblings who are like, I want to drive. But it's like it is a fight over control, and it just feels like it is what it is. It's ongoing, and it's par for the course. That's what it is. It's par for the course. This isn't going to change. It's the way these two people are. They're antagonistic to each other. The 1 and the 5. They are completely antagonistic to each other, and that's just the way they are. All right, let's see what's on the bottom here. The hourglass. Okay, so this is temporary. This is just a phase. That's what the hourglass is telling me, and they'll grow out of it eventually. So we've got the hourglass. Underneath that is the cave. The cave is growing up because the cave is like exploring the depths of who you are. You do that by living life, and that's how you explore who you are. So it's like as these people, they kind of bounce off of one another, and that's how they find out more about each other. We've got Gemini, It's like you find out how brave you are, or how maybe unfair you are when you butt heads with someone. Maybe you're a sore loser and you find that out because the other person brings that out of you. So this relationship also helps both these people discover things about themselves, and they'll grow out of it once they discover what they need to discover about themselves. So this is a phase. This is a phase, and it can't be helped. It's temporary, and it's good too, because the heart, it's like eventually they'll either end up liking each other. So if this is like an antagonistic relationship between a parent and a child, then your kid, it's probably the kid who doesn't like you. Parent usually likes the kid. The kid will eventually like you back. The kid might not like you now because you're disciplining them, but the kid will eventually like you back in the long run once they grow out of this phase. It can't be helped, okay? And I feel like this might have embedded advice, but let's pull specific advice cards now and see if there's anything you can be doing to maybe make this relationship run a little smoother, or if there's any other advice here. Any advice here for my Libras? Anything else in terms of advice? All right, so now we've got the Nine of Wands next to the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Wands is about kind of like pushing someone, and the Nine of Cups is about getting satisfaction. So what is this saying? It's like you don't actually need to get satisfied. It's like in a way, a lot of this is like gratification you're trying to get from someone else when you can just get gratification from yourself. So it's like, stop trying to get self-gratification, or stop trying to prove your point, be right. You don't need that. And if you do need that, then it actually reflects poorly on yourself, because that means that you need gratification from other people to feel like you're smart, to feel like you're correct. So it's kind of saying you don't need to prove someone right all the time. This person, you don't need to prove yourself right. And at a certain point, it really is just about getting satisfaction. And how much getting satisfaction do you actually need before it's petty? You see what I'm saying here? Let's see what else there is on the bottom. On the bottom is the Two of Swords with the Tower, and the Hierophant with the Lovers. Okay, the Hierophant and the Lovers is just talking about, again, it's just reiterating the same relationship, so I can just move those out. But the Two of Swords and the Tower is the fight's actually escalating too. So this week, the fights could get from friendly to unfriendly. That's the Tower here, where instead of it being like a good debate where both people get something out of it, both people maybe are a little peeved, but they can shake hands after the fact. No, this isn't escalating to the point where people are, maybe you don't talk to one another for a while. So, it's saying reel back a little bit. You don't have to prove yourself right, and you don't need satisfaction all the time for the sake of maybe a little bit of peace, because I am seeing like a big argument coming up. And it doesn't have to happen. This big argument, this Tower, doesn't have to happen as long as you don't need satisfaction. Let's pull Oracle cards and see what else we get for advice, and then we will close out your reading. Anything else here for Libra for advice? Anything else for Libra? Yeah, this is not the week to be bragging and telling people I told you so. This is not the week for that, because people will react very poorly to that. People will cut you off. You know what I mean? Like, people are not going to fuck around with that shit this week. It's not a great time to be gloating about anything or trying to one-up people for the sake of your satisfaction, for the sake of being right. It's really a bad week for that. Even if it starts off as friendly, it's not going to end up friendly. It's just not a good week for it. Let's see what we have. Okay, interesting. Talk about shooting the shit. The 0 and Pisces is shooting the shit. It's like not talking about anything real, serious, or significant. Talking about the weather. It is small talk, right? And in this case, it's small interactions. Like when you interact with this person, the night, you're not going to talk about anything serious. And that's the advice. Don't talk about anything serious. Don't do anything serious. And play dumb as much as you can, Taurus. And maybe even when they say something that would normally trigger you, to try to defend your position and prove yourself right. In fact, say nothing. Say 0 things. Let it go. Gloss over it. Play stupid. And do something else. The night. Move on. Move on from that topic. The night. Because the night doesn't stop, okay? The night's not going to dwell on making a point. The night's going to move on to the next thing, especially with the 0 and Pisces here. Play stupid. Gloss over it and move on. so you don't end up getting into a tower moment with this person where it's like there's major fallout with the tower in a relationship. Major fallout potential this week. So just be very careful. All right, well, that is your reading, Libra signs. Thank you guys for being here. If you guys want to support my channel, you can go to Patreon and become a member. I've got a lot of cool stuff on there too, so go ahead and check that out if you want. I'd really appreciate it. With that, I'll see you guys next time.